Thank you for staying on as TMI, and we are on the conversation as regards the Edo Guber party campaign's impact on the electorate. You agree with me? Just a few weeks running for us to have the election proper in Edo State, and the political parties and their candidates are really tough on the campaign grounds, making sure they sell their programs, policies, manifestos, agenda. But again, some have said that the parties seem not to be forthcoming, or some parties seem not to be forthcoming as regards selling their manifestos or agenda or programs if by chance they are voted into power. And we're going to be extracting this, the perspective of the electorate, what the electorate see of these candidates and what is expected of them come September 21, and of course activities leading to that. And joining me on this very sensitive discussion, starting from my extreme left, where I usually used to start from, I have a lecturer at University of Benin, a policy analyst, political scientist, Neville Obakedo. Thanks for coming, Neville.
Thank you for having me. Good morning to you and listeners at home.
And close to Neville Obakedo is the spokesperson to the YPP candidate, Peter Okumbawa. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Philip. Good morning, viewers out there.
And of course, I have a member of the APC Modo Pueblo Campaign Management Council, and he is Erunse Kenneth. Thanks for coming, Erunse.
Thank you, Philip. Good morning, viewers.
All right, we still expecting the spokesperson to Aswe Igodalo of the PDP to join us via Zoom, Dan Posal Begier. And as soon as he joins us, we're going to be also having that conversation with him in this regard. Quickly, let's take your regards in this campaigns. You understand that basically the expectations of the electorate are quite high on the candidates of those parties. And your party candidate basically has been selling his agenda or his manifestos and programs. What do you see? Because some have said that rather than him, coming to the podium of independent television, for instance, to sell these manifestos and programs, it seems not forthcoming. And some have said, is he shy, or does he not want to, partake, join in town halls, debates, and also other party candidates that also use the electronic media to sell their manifestos and programs? Why is it not forthcoming? Kenneth?
Thank you once again, Philip. My principal, our candidate, has been, as you as well, is selling his programs, his manifesto, his vision for the state down to the people at the grassroots. He has crisscrossed the entire state, flagged off his senatorial campaign. As we speak now, he's doing word-to-word campaign. To me, or to us, that is what matters. Of course, some of us are also here doing the electronic campaign or electronic discussion, as we are doing right now. But our principal, Senator Mondo Pueblo, is very busy talking to the people at the grassroots, reaching out to the people that matters, the people that will be there on that day to vote. He's selling his programs to them. He's telling them his vision for the state. He's letting them know that he cares for them, that he has a passion to develop the state. And the people at the grassroots are hearing him loud and clear. And I can assure you that they believe in him, because he has a pedigree of performance. The pedigree is there to show the kind of person he is, what he has done in the past, and what he's doing presently. So what matters to us in the APC is that we are reaching out to the grassroots, like I earlier emphasized. And I think that is what matters. Maybe at the appropriate time, he will come to ITV or any other of the media houses to also tell the people his programs.
Yeah.
But for now, he's busy talking to the people at the grassroots.
Okay, I seem not comfortable when you say that he's busy talking to people at the grassroots. And That's what matters. So what you're saying is that on the platform of independent television, it can't reach the people at the grassroots? Or are you saying that those who also watch independent television, they are not voters, they don't count, they don't matter? Let's get it.
That's why I said maybe at the right time.
Maybe.
I said at the right time. I said for now.
This is not the right time.
Okay, let me get it clear. Every party has a strategy of reaching out to the people. Some, the electoral media may come first before they start doing the grassroots campaign. As we speak, PDP is not doing grassroots campaign. Ditto some other parties. All they have been doing is, like you said, electronic campaigns, town hall, and, or what have you. But we have been doing the grassroots for now. And as we're edging towards the election, we'll be coming to the media. My principal will come to the media and talk to the people also. But our strategy is that the first thing to do is to reach out physically to the people that will vote. Physically to Edo people. So that they will see you physically, hear you physically. I think that is what matters at this stage. Edging towards the election, maybe two weeks to the election, we can fully blast.
Let's get to see what you say are manifestos, or what you call the manifesto of the APC, Mondo Pueblo's manifesto, as regards what he will do when he gets to power. Can you articulate some of them?
Of course. The Mondo Pueblo has promised to embark on massive infrastructural development. As we speak now, Edo State is deficit infrastructurally. We have bad roads, flooding every day once it rains. We have no schools. Our educational sector is moribund as we speak. A lot of the classrooms do not have desks. The primary health care is not visible, little or not existent. And those are the infrastructures that our candidates, or my principal, intends to revamp. The idea is that it is infrastructure. It is the infrastructural development of any nation, of any state, that will drive economic development. Once you lack basic infrastructure, you can't get development. So emphasis on infrastructure. Education, like I mentioned. Yes, education is the bedrock of any development of a society.
You're talking about a part of the 5-point agenda.
Yeah,
like
I've said infrastructure.
But some have said, rather than go on this, some statement credited to him where he was saying that in this forthcoming polls, manifestos won't really matter, but the man who has the vision, the man who has what to do, a man with peace, that comes with peace, who has what to do. But some have said, if you say that manifestos don't matter, just like you also said that what the people that matter are the grassroots, but basically not forgetting the fact that even those that you can also reach out using this electronic media are also those at the grassroots. Don't you see a misplaced priority as regards that statement credited to your principal when he said that what matter in this election is not manifestos? Otherwise, how do you sell your programs if you don't have a manifesto?
He has rolled out his manifesto as we speak. The day he launched his campaign at Kenwa campus, he rolled out his manifesto.
A few days back?
Yes. That's why I was trying to emphasize on them.
So
the manifesto is clear.
Which means before now, there were no manifestos?
Yeah, before now,
no plan,
no
documents.
They were there.
Show to the electorate.
Listen,
it just came up a few days back.
No, he had them, but he needed a platform to roll it out, and that platform was the right platform. The launching of the campaign, that is where everybody will hear him out. That these are my plans for the state. Okay. And he took advantage of that opportunity.
I'll come back to you. Let's get to Peter Okungbawa. Now, a lot has been said. You've always read out the need for the electorate not to go after money bag politics, because that seems to impoverish the people. Now, do you see, by virtue of what you guys have been doing on the campaign grounds, do you see the positives and do you see the electorate heeding the score to make sure that they avoid politics of money bags come September 21?
If you were on my social media platform, just before I walked into this place, I updated my status by saying that illiteracy and poverty remains a problem of our democracy. And being out of the field and being on the field, the two different experiences. While you were out there, you probably couldn't give substance to your assertions that money plays a role as far as people making choices of who should lead them. But when you're on the field, you could then know firsthand what the truth behind all this scale or the level to which these whole money bags have got down the electorate to the point where the electorate are not interested in any good plan you may have, but the money at hand. Well, I may take an exception given the instance of the last presidential election in Edo State, for example, where people rejected monies. In my community, for example, monies were rejected and the ruling party got 3 votes in my unit, even with the money. I think the chairman of the local party there and his wife and child were the one that voted for his party. 3 votes was what they got in his community. Now, going forward, as people are on this and we've been meeting people, Mr. Evans, I have a singular faith that the day the people realize that they can get any government that they want will fix this country. Until that realization is met, it might just be the usual, the regular. Now, on the feed, we have noticed that the money bags have destroyed the system so badly that even the worship centers are not exempted from those who grant them invitations and give them stage. It will now seem as though people formed certain unions before this election just to have a platform to engage candidates and have this kind of pay for these platforms. You are given an invitation to address the people. Supposedly, you are there to sell a dream and a purpose and a vision for the entire state, for themselves, their children, and their children unborn. And when you get there, you come to the realization that it's money that you have to give before you are heard. Very recently in a church, I wouldn't want to mention their name, a very big church in Benin here, I had a program for which there was a book launch. And the political parties were invited. There were 4 political parties in attendance. I have the video clip where the donations they offered for book launch in one church was all together more than 30 million naira. One of the party stood up first and offered 5 million naira in book launch. The other stood up and said, if this baby party coming up, which they here could do that, give 10 million. The other one stood up, 10 million. By the following day, the principal of one of the parties, the candidate of one of the parties came and gave 20 million. How do you expect to, I think there's a reason why the Electoral Act naturally sort of put a wedge on campaign donations and money flooding elections. It's because if we don't micromanage the affairs of candidates and political parties, it will come down to the richest person getting the votes. As we speak, Mr. Evans, there are insinuations here and there. Oh, Mr. Philip, sorry. There are insinuations here and there, subject to findings, that some of these political parties have earmarked billions to purchase votes on that day, one by one. One of the parties who have been told have a budget of 25 million per person. The other one has a budget of 15 million per person.
These are speculations.
Oh, these are speculations, like I said, but there's no smoke without fire.
Okay, but let's zero on your party.
We have been used to a culture here where vote buying is not new to Edo.
Let's zero on your party because I was on the news and okay. I think I read that intro to the news when your principal, was talking about what the campaigns. He was on campaigns and he said something that really got me thinking. If he's got his eyes on the ball, that he's going to win the election. Because he said, in the exercise come September 21, the party YPP, of which he is the candidate, will not be, at the last count. That is, they will not carry last, in his words. Does it not show that he's not really having his eyes on the ball on winning elections? Or what should be the reason for that statement?
In the last election, Mr. Philip, there were less than 400 voters who came out to exercise their franchise. And Edo State has on register more than 2 million registered adult voters. Why will less than 400 come out to vote? They've given up on the system. Now, my principal singular hope of winning this election is for the over 1 million and some fraction people who are giving up on this system to actually do a ballot revolution and get themselves a government that they deserve.
Is it seeing the hope that they will do that?
Naturally, if
otherwise, why make that statement?
Now,
because I expected him to say that he is winning the election.
That would be
should be optimistic, not being pessimistic.
I wouldn't want to say that is being pessimistic, but I would say that is being realistic on the basis of what seems to be obtainable beyond hope.
Realistic
hope
on the grounds that they may tail the side of the money back.
The hope is that those over 1.something million persons who are actually the progressives will come out. But if they will not come out, the reality here in Edo is that the money backs will have the day. We're not.
What are you doing as a party if you have these concerns, rather than pry into other parties or what they are doing? If you have these concerns, what are you doing to conscientize or to bring them, to pull them to the polls?
Mr. Phillips, sir, elections come down to money. A man who has a vision, if he doesn't have the wherewithal to set that vision, he may not be heard. Now, are we to say only those who have monies? We've seen those who have monies without vision destroy this country. Are we then to say only those who have money, however they made their money, should be interested in leadership? That seems to be the order of the day, because the process is now very expensive for the man who has a dream and a vision to even thrive. The reason visibility is not there is that even private stations like this is expensive to put up a jingle, as opposed to a business where you make profits. For a political jingle, it's expensive. Why is it the case? Because those who are in the ruling class have raised the banner so high that those who have visions to serve their generation, but without the money or without their support and sponsorship, because they could come behind you and push you, so long as when you get there, you will do their bidding. But if you are going to do the bidding of the people, it should be the people who are funding such government. Let me tell you the funny thing. Those who have heard my principal, the white people, spoke on radio, have made up their mind to give him their votes. Are they of that number to give him victory? I wouldn't know. But I'm the one that takes the phone. I'm the one who is the correspondent. And I know that a very healthy number of persons are tired of the existing political parties and structure.
Okay, let's get to you, Neville Bakedo. You are a policy analyst, and many things happen, when it comes to election. The electorate are really going to be slugging it out to make sure that they take the right decision come September 21 polls in Edo State. What is your perception of these candidates? Are they doing the right thing? Because we've seen where instead of them focusing on the manifestos, policies, programs, if some of them even have it, they rather go on the way of defaming characters, which seem not to be the clean way to play politics, if there is even a clean way to do that.
Thank you very much for the question that you have asked me and for inviting me. I'm just in the midst of politicians. I'm the only person that is neutral here.
As a stakeholder of the electorate.
So I need to speak as a neutral person. Number one, democracy that we talk about today did not start from here. So democracy is alien to Africa, ditto Nigeria and Edo State. Democracy started from the Greek city-state of Athens before it spread to other places like Sparta, like Segio, like Syracuse, like Salamis, like Corinth, and so on. What was the basis for the enactment or the origination of democracy? It was because of the fundamental questions of that society: slavery, inequality, the activities of capitalists, and then the reduction of the people, the manpower that made the Greek city-states then to be very strong and powerful and domineering. They were relegated to the background. You know how they now came up with the issue of democracy? They realized there was consciousness among the people, the masses, the demos, to say that this system that is discriminatory, this system that is perpetrating various forms of injustices should be overthrown and be replaced with another system of government. That was how democracy came about. And people from different places were now coming to Athens to come and decide the destiny and the future of the Greek city state of that time. Now today we talk about democracy, where our own people, those who say they want to lead, they are expected to address the problems of the society. So as we speak about Edo State, those who want to lead Edo State from all the political parties, they are supposed to identify the problem of Edo State and make these problems to be the front burner of their campaign.
It's one thing to identify.
Yes.
It's another to have the will and the vision to do that in terms of
we cannot
bringing out solutions to the problems.
No, we can. Let me give you this instance. Eric Fernando Cardoso, a political sociologist from Brazil, at a particular point in his intellectual fanaticism, he was opposing the intervention of the World Bank and IMF in the economies of countries of the third world or the developing countries. On the basis of his own campaign manifestos, or what we refer to as libertarian pronunciamentos, he was given opportunity to become the president of the country. When he became president, you know what he did? He now discovered that there was a yawning gap between theory and practice, and he became a major advocate of the intervention of the World Bank and the IMF in the economy of Brazil in particular, and the economies of the third world countries. The point I'm trying to make is that any person, any governorship candidate can come up to say, I will build bridges where there are no rivers in Edo State. I will say no to Godfatherism. I will say this, I will say that. I will do this, I will do that. That is still at a very peripheral level. By the time the person becomes the governor, you will now see the reality of governance. That leads me to the issue of
exactly, before you lead us there,
yeah.
Exactly what we're talking about. Now, some have said that we don't really need talkers, but we need those who can perform. Now, most times we see people talk and give us beautiful sides about the manifestos, their programs. But what is the yardstick that when they eventually win elections, they're going to be doing what the people really expect of them? So what do you see as a lineup of factors that the electorate should be looking at?
Well, the electorate, as we see them in Edo State and elsewhere in Nigeria or even in Africa, they lack the consciousness that led to the emergence of democracy in Greece. If the consciousness were to be there, for instance, somebody, a candidate, I beg your pardon, an electorate, a voter on election day, will not be willing to sell his or her vote. Are you with me? If an electorate sells his vote to the highest bidder, it means the person is not even aware of the problem, the enormity of the problem that faces him as an individual within the state, or the enormity of the problem that faces our state. Yeah. Why I said I was going to make reference to a popular message that says, "Uno go, no, no." All the candidates are campaigning. One of them will become the governor. By the time the person becomes the governor, he will now discover that there's a gap between his political rhetoric during electioneering and what is on ground by the time he occupies the seat of governance. Now, at that very particular point, he may not be dancing to the whims and caprices of the people that he gave promises. Now, let's come to the issue of Edo State in particular. And one of the problems that is facing us that we expect any person who becomes the governor to tackle. Now, if you travel from here to Ondo State on this Lagos road, after Ugbogwe, or before you get here, if you are lucky, you will be able to have a thoroughfare because of insecurity. If you are traveling from here to Edo North, through Ifon, and you are going to enter Onwa from there, then, if you are lucky, you will be able to have a thoroughfare because of insecurity.
Are you talking about the federal highways?
No, we are talking about Edo State.
Okay.
If you travel from here,
You are living in Edo State already.
no, as if you are going to Edo North from here and you want to pass through Ifon.
Okay.
You are at Ondo State now before you pass that narrow
State,
bridge.
okay.
You now at Uzeba and Yule from there.
Okay.
Now, if you are traveling from here to Edo Central and Edo North, the same thing.
So it's a Kulian.
Yes. Now, the issue is this. The two major problems that we face on the road, the bad roads. What is the government doing to address the problem of the bad roads, number one,
Okay.
and the problem of insecurity?
Okay.
Our people, voters in Edo State, need to engage the candidates on these two major issues.
Okay, we'll come there. I think that was where we were talking about, how your programs, how your manifestos are going to be like in order for you to sell these manifestos, intimidate the people. Now, we spend much time, instead of doing that, defaming, assassinating characters. And we vividly looked at, let's quickly look at, before I come into the details, but we basically expect that the spokesperson to Aswe Igodalo, Dan Osa Mbege Esquire, should be joining us via Zoom. And as soon as we're able to establish connectivity, we'll be bringing that discussion to you as regards what he has to say. But let's look at what we have. There was just recently a report that brought a spread of about 5 local government councils that were randomly picked. We are about 1,179, voters were asked questions, and by virtue of what was gathered by the EBDA, which was audited by Business Day, 68% of that number got to the PDP candidate, Aswe Godalo, while 18% of that got to the APC, your principal, and of course 14 to the LP. What do you say about that share or that opinion?
I will tell you this. That opinion poll is Babadash. It's not, I can tell you convincingly, or I can tell you categorically that it's not empirically proven.
Because it doesn't favor your candidate?
Not really, not really. My point is that I don't even know the organization that did that opinion poll.
I just told you, EBDA, audited by Business Day.
Okay.
And the local government councils, 5 of them, were randomly picked. The voters were randomly picked. So it was not as if it was deliberate or they went to a particular location.
Did they mention the local government that were picked? I mean, when you are doing opinion poll, you have to go into details. First of all, they would have told us the local government, so that we can, at least I'm from a local government, for example. If they had said, mention my local government, I'll be able to know if it's true or wrong. So that's why I said, do we have the facts? Was this actually conducted, or is just a political gimmick? Don't forget that the owner of Business, this day newspaper, which I think is Business Day or rather.
Yeah, Business Day.
Okay. So what I'm trying to point here is that I want an opinion poll that is empirically proven. Mission, be specific. Tell us the local government. Tell us the people that, at least, the people that you reached out to, category of people that you reached out to, the age, the profession, and all that. That is how opinion polls are done.
Okay, but what's the hope your party has? Okay, now. What does your party have as hope?
That is what I'm saying.
That come September 21, these figures will change in its favor.
No, because, the figure in the first place.
As we speak, some issues could be factored into the fact that some of the voters, because I have to go back there, some of the voters who want to see your principal intimate them with the manifestos, programs, they seem not to be saying that. And if this is going around discussions, that could go a long way to also affect, the popularity.
Okay, let me tell you something. I went with my principal and our leader, Adam Soshomole, to campaign around Ring Road the other day, Urban Market specifically, and New Benin. I was amazed at the love showed by the people. The moment we entered Urban Market, as we were walking down the Urban Market, you see the market women, they were all rushing us. You could see the expression of love, organic love. And we stopped there and we campaigned. And I heard, as I was standing, I was overhearing people saying from the backgrounds, market women and some other traders, Is this not the man they say does not talk? They told us this man is mute. They told us this man cannot express himself. And look at him campaigning right here in Oba Market. At least the press were there. And he eloquently presented his programs. We went to New Benin, the same thing happened. So you cannot sit here and say, my candidate is not speaking. When he has been speaking to the people at the grassroots. If he goes to campaign, how is he communicating?
Okay.
He's communicating. When he goes to all this campaign that he has been through, I'm talking of the senatorial campaigns, he has been touring word-to-word campaign.
It's one thing.
He's been talking to the people.
No. Don't get it mixed up.
Yeah.
It's one thing to talk to the people.
Yeah.
It's another to engage the media. Now, there is this impression that your principal seems to avoid questions from the media because they could be thought-provoking. That could make him not be able to answer.
Like I said before, we have our strategy for the campaign. The media part of it will come.
Okay.
I said it categorically at the beginning of this program, that we have our strategy. The strategy we have is that we first of all engage with the people at the grassroots. And that we're almost concluding that now.
Okay.
Once we round up that, we'll go to the media. It's never too late to engage the media. Is it late?
You said something about the infrastructural deficit. I remember vividly, that was how you opened.
Yeah.
Have you realized, because this is APC we're talking about,
yeah.
Have you realized that we have an APC government in the center?
Yes.
That the people seem not to be happy with, most especially because of the policies that they see as or perceive as obnoxious. And this has gone about, economic hardship on the people. And at present, we are still having this shortage of fuel. Even the removal of fuel subsidy gave us a big hit, a big blow, of which you are also part of the victim of that. Now, what makes you feel and think and know that these people wouldn't, empathize with the other party candidates just because they are not at home with the policies at the center? Would that not rob your candidate of these votes because of what is happening at the center?
I say a big no to that. Because you know why? The Edo people are enlightened enough. They know the issues. They can clearly differentiate between what is happening at the center and what is happening at the state. This election is about what has happened in this state in the last 8 years.
Okay.
The referendum is about the present government.
All right.
In the last 8 years.
All right, thank you. I'll come back to you. The YPP spokesperson. Let's quickly get to Dan Osa Ogbege Esquire, who has been waiting for us to really reach him. Good morning to you, Barrister Dan Osa Ogbege. Are you there?
Yes, good morning, Philip. Thanks for having me this morning.
Well, it was quite a coolian. I was almost thinking if you had challenges in respect of hitting us early enough on this conversation.
Yes, I did.
So can you share your challenges?
Yeah, I said I had some technical issues, but I had to go out of my way to ensure that I join you this morning.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Dan Osa Ogbege. We have a lot of issues. Now, you agree that we're just eating closely to the election come September 21 in Edo State. And some are saying that the way in which the campaigns are going seems very, very troublesome. We don't want the polity to be heated beyond the way it is now. And some have said that rather than focus on the programs, policies, or manifestos of the parties, some chieftains and even some party leaders and even their candidates have gone ahead, to assassinate characters, defame personalities. What do you have to say in that regard? Because just recently we had issues surrounding that in one of the national television where interview was granted to the predecessor, the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshomole, where he spoke vividly about the non-electability of the PDP candidate.
Well, I'm surprised that people even take Adam Shomole seriously when it comes to politics of this state. We have seen how desperate Adam Shomole has been to have a third term through another person. In 2016, that was how he went about destroying other aspirants just so that his preferred aspirant will emerge in the then APC. And, in the first term of that government, he tried to control everything about the government, appointing all the commissioners, giving all the political appointees. He practically appointed all of them. So at the point when that governor became tired, he couldn't take it anymore. You know, he cried out, and we all saw what happened. Adam Shomole illegally, disqualifying him from contesting for a second term. Adam Shomole went about trying to push another preferred aspirant or candidate. He's been very desperate to try and come back to Edo State as governor using a proxy for a third term that has become increasingly elusive. And today, he's going about with a candidate without a manifesto, a candidate that does not understand the issues, a candidate that does not understand the difference between a zoo and a museum, a candidate that didn't even know where Igara was in Edo State. You know, the distance between Ira and Igara, he didn't know. A candidate that has shown disconsonant with the people, that has shown that he doesn't even understand Edo people, and they are trying to send him to Edo State, force him on Edo State. So because he knows that's why Godalo has become increasingly popular, and the people of Edo State want him as governor, so he's trying to demarcate Asue Godalo by saying that he was not electable. What did he mean that Asue Godalo was not electable? A man that is over 40 years at the bar, a senior lawyer, the founding partner of Bawa and Godalo, the leading law firm in Nigeria and probably even in Africa. A man that has been chairman of Nigerian Breweries, chairman of Sterling Bank, chairman of Dangote, chairman of Sovereign Wealth Fund, chairman of Nigeria Economic Summit Group, and you are saying he's not electable. Edo people are excited about Asue Godalo, and they know that he's coming to build on what Governor Obaseki has done. Now, I was listening to one of your panelists in the studio say that, this election will be a referendum on the performance of the present governor. I agree with him, because Edo people know that this current governor has done far more than any governor in the history of Edo State, including Adam Shomole. He has done more inner roads. He has been able to reform the civil service. Edo State civil service has become professional, has become competent. He has been able to also help our farmers to become better. So the thing they have against Adam Shomole, the thing they have against Godwin Obaseki is essentially because he refused to share public funds with them, the way Adam Shomole did during his 8 years as governor, when Edo State public funds became a bazaar to the supporters of Adam Shomole at the time. But Godwin Obaseki is, using public funds to work for Edo people. And that's the reason why professional politicians who have nothing else apart from politics as a profession, they are angry with Godwin Obaseki. Edo people know what they are doing. They know the difference among all the candidates. They know the candidate that is ready. They know the candidate that is not ready. And they will speak with their votes. The only hope, my brother Philip, that the APC people have, and they say it in their private moments, the only hope they have is that they will use federal might to intimidate voters. But Edo State, Edo people are not people that can be easily intimidated. So if they want to use federal might, they should be ready to come with bombs and guns. Because Edo State, Edo people are determined that their votes will count, and the person they want to succeed the present governor as governor of Edo State will emerge through their ballot, through the casting of ballot, and not through the barrel of the gun.
Thank you, Daniel Sabage. Apart from the fact that he made mention of it as I alleged not being electable as the person of the candidates of your party, Asue Godalo.
Yeah.
He also made mention of the common patrimony of the people, the treasury, not being safe if he becomes the governor. I want you to react to that.
No, it is Adam Shomole that if we need to really intervene, if AFCC really need to investigate, Adam Shomole will have to tell Edo people how he managed to build his gigantic mansion at Iyamo as governor of Edo State. He managed to build his case too at Okorotun in Benin City, GRA. So he's the one that the public treasury, Edo State Treasury, was not safe in his hands. And these are people that have never really done anything. Adan Shomole was a tailor, and through there, he worked in Teza industry as a junior staff, junior worker, before he became president of the NSC. So the wealth he brandishes about, he does not have anything to support the wealth. But Ashe Ighodalo has been a top lawyer all his life. He has been involved in transactions representing clients all over the world. In 2014 or maybe 2015, his law firm, Banwe Ighodalo, emerged as top 10 law firm in the world in the area of project finance. So you are talking about a man that has a history of work, history of entrepreneurship, history of management, and you are saying that the treasury is not safe with him. When he has never been accused, nobody has accused Ashe Ighodalo of being profligate, of mismanagement, nobody. But Adan Shomole has been daily accused of mismanaging the resources of Edo State. We all know that he took a bond, 30 billion naira, that he purportedly was going to use for the Benin City stormwater projects. And many people have said that that fund was hugely mismanaged. If not that, we are in a country where the federal government that controls the EFCC protects members of their party. Adan Shomole ought to be behind bars by now. So we all know that the man speaks out of turn when it comes to election because of his desperation to emerge as the sole godfather in Edo State. Edo people are watching him and they are going to reject his candidate come September 21st, 2004.
Come back to you. Let's quickly get to you, Peter Okumbawa. A lot has been said by him, and there's this impression that when a push comes to shove, a lot of things will be exposed. And what's your reaction to the rate at which, the former governor of the state, gets to the press and ventilate?
The truth of the matter is that our politics in this part of the world is built around personalities, never objectivity as to philosophy underscoring the interest of their engagements. It's never about the people. It's about a certain class of people who have certain clandestine interests in politics. Else, you would often wonder how the two leading political parties, APC and PDP, how their candidates emerged. The emergence of their candidates would tell you expressly some persons are behind them, or a group of persons are behind them who have sinister interest and motive in Edo State. For example, I do not know how, I do not understand how the candidate of PDP, who has no footing in Edo, presently there's a case at the Supreme Court waiting for judgment on the 17th of September to either determine whether the voters card tendered during the INEC registration for his candidature was done in due time, or rather, whether it was done in due time or forged. That case is there. The judgment will be given on September 7th. And a man who was not in the political space at all just comes still. Politics is progressive. It's about people. It's about who they know. How did a man who was not known become candidate of the People's Democratic Party? I think the electorate should be asking themselves these questions. If somebody does not have an interest to protect, how come this man came from nowhere and he just became candidate and fought to stand still, established people of even Esan extraction who were on that party justly for the tickets? You ask yourself again the question of how Mondo Beolo became candidate of the APC if there were no sinister interest or motives, as it were. In the final analysis, I think it's all man for himself and God for us all. Because in the end, the Edo people are at the mercy of these people, and Edo people are the pawn. Because the ruling class knows one thing: the level of illiteracy, even amongst graduates, political socialization and sophistication in Edo, in Nigeria, is still very poor. When people want to tell me Edo people are aware, they know it's a lie. Edo people are still easily lobotomized. Else, since 1999 to date, a party like PDP, APC, their manifesto should have been exhausted. They should have been coming up with new things new dynamism and new approach to governance if they have ever been delivering to the people. And I worry that people who are thinking at all are still supporting a party that lacks an objective and a philosophy. If you ask me, the life of Edo people, where has it been? Has it become better? I'm not talking about whether you do road or you build bridges in air or you do whatever, all those lies you tell people. I'm asking the question, per capita development of the individual person in Edo State, what has the life of an average Edo man become? Let us narrow it down to education, for example, the one that is very of paramount interest to parents in Edo. What is the level of education given to an Edo child today? Can an Edo child compete with these our mates outside the shores of Edo, outside the shores of Nigeria? Is contemporary learning taught in Edo State today? We are still teaching amoeba of many years ago. We are still teaching plasmodium of many years ago. Meanwhile, the countries who gave you this syllabus and curriculum are teaching today. China is teaching mining in primary school. They don't have mineral resources. Nigeria, that is repellent with mineral resources, does not have a program that has to do with mining.
Okay, if you call all of this political rhetorics, what will your candidate do differently? Because you've made spurious, you've made some indictment on the parties, the APC, the PDP. What will YPP do differently if it comes to power?
When it comes to education, for example, I want Edo people to go to the internet and browse. I'm not the one telling them. Browse schools built by Borno State government, a war-ravaged zone. These schools, as beautiful as they are, as standing edifices they are, bequeathing a sense of responsibility and value for education to the people of Borno State, is built in a war-ravaged area. And the inside of the school, the laboratories are up to date. Please, can you tell me one school in Edo today that is a model example of a proud government after 8 years, showcasing to the future that this is our concern about your children? For us, if we come on board, all the schools in Edo will be leveled, because to start with, fiscally speaking, these structures are not even befitting to say that they house human beings for learning. When you see a structure that is intentional about teaching the future generation, you will see it, you will know it. It will conjure in you a sense of awe that the government is intentional about educating their people. There is a sum of $7.7 trillion US quoted in the capital market every day, Monday to Friday. China is teaching their children in basic school how to trade the forest market. Can we introduce such into our curriculum so that we can take care of cases of internet fraud and we can take care of cases of unemployment? Because there's nowhere in the world where government can solely provide jobs. But by reason of policy, government can begin to help the younger generation. There are a number of remote jobs on the internet space, sir. A number of them. Can we get them into our secondary school system and forget about making them doctors when they don't?
Okay, outside the educational sector, there are a whole lot that we need to look at.
Manifestos because is embedded on his Facebook page. He did a video manifesto, first of its kind, and it should be lauded, because anything written in print could have been contracted to any person. But the man who carries the vision, he has what is called a body language. He said, the internet never goes to sleep and the internet never dies. Let me be indicted today, tomorrow, and forever for the words that came out of my mouth. And he decided to put his manifesto in the form of a video. He has told you, go to my page, Okumbo Apollo, with a blue streak, and you see on education the plan that I have, on agriculture the plan that I have, on do you know on medical care, the plan of the YPP is to make sure that so long as you are a taxpayer, you are entitled to free healthcare in Edo State. And a Senate politician will say,
what gives us the hope, the belief, the confidence that, because it's one thing to talk is cheap, but how do you match these words with actions? I think that's where we keep missing it.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Philip.
Now, what are the track records,
Mr. Philip? Thank you.
that we can say that your candidate has
for me
to match what you say?
For me, sir, this whole talk about experience, track record, being a board member, this chairman, that, it does not translate to any good to any Edo person. There's no Edo person that has benefited from that. The first thing that is needed in governing space is empathy, the love for the people. When Steve Harvey, one of my favorite people in the world, went to Dubai when they celebrated 50 years of existence, he got there and saw that a state that was once a desert is now better looking than America.
When you say the love for the people, can we test that? Can we have a litmus test of what your candidate has done to express the love and philanthropic gestures that he has done for the people?
The candidate is 40 years old, and as a 40-year-old, but there's no candidate in any of the political party divide in Edo who has people under his payroll. This guy has employed more than 500 persons today.
Do you call that? Do you call that philanthropic gesture?
It's not a philanthropic gesture. It's an attestation to the fact that he has been involved in people's life and he understands what the people want and what they need. Not somebody.
Because if we look at that, if we look at that, all of these candidates, most of them, they have people on their payroll.
Must you be a philanthropist? In fact, the idea of
no. You may mention of love for the people, and so where does that energy and vibe come from?
The idea of love, sir, is at variance with the whole talk about philanthropy. Philanthropy in Nigeria is an abuse.
Okay.
It's an abuse because people who are so-called involved in philanthropy in Nigeria always have an underlying interest, either to come and contest election in the future. This guy has been an employer of labor. He's good enough for you.
Okay.
He's educated.
I'll come back
His
to you
manifesto
to take
speaks
your
for him.
remarks. Let's quickly get to you, Neville Opakedo. Let's look at what we have here. Do you seem to believe, or do you see proofs or evidence to show that the electorate, they have what they will choose from in terms of getting the right candidate, looking at what we have based on current realities?
You know, I started by saying that I'm not a politician, but I'm a human being. I have certain sentiments.
Yeah.
When persons make statements, swoopy statements, that are injurious to me as a person, I will not keep quiet. It pains me that we have a crop of politicians in Edo State who are ideologically unclear, and they can make statements because they believe that today they are benefiting from party A or party B. One of such persons is a person that you showed on video. I hope he's watching. Is it Osa?
What
I know him.
About this person?
Wait, I know. Wait. I know him.
But he's not a
I know him. I know him as a member. I know him as a member of APC. I'm surprised today to see him on the side of PDP. And I know that if it is true that certain things that is said about the former governor of Edo State, Comrade Adams Aliyu Shomole, if they are true, it means it benefited from him. But I do not expect somebody of his caliber, a legal practitioner, to come on air. Ushomole is not here, his spokesperson is not here, somebody to defend him is not here, and he's making hearsay and sweeping statement.
No, I asked him that question because it's already in the public space. I asked him that question about his reactions in that.
The question that you asked him was about the electability of the candidate of the PDP. He would have answered the question and not descending on the character of Adams Oshomole. Let me tell you something. Adams Oshomole was the one who brought Obaseki. And Obaseki came up to say that Oshomole was a godfather. Obaseki now brought the PDP governorship candidate, who is Aso Egodalo. Is Obaseki not a godfather?
Okay, you seem to have an interest in this because no. From your body language, you can say that.
I don't have an interest.
Okay.
I'm only telling you that I'm a human being and I have sentiment. And when people try to injure the sentiment that I have when I'm even in a live program.
Okay, but you are aware of what played out.
All the things.
You are aware of what played out in 2020.
Yes.
You know that brought in the governor of Edo State for his second term.
Yes.
You are aware of all the razzmatazz, all the issues that came up.
Yes.
You know, and all of this seemed to only garner support for the candidate of the PDP, who is now the governor.
Yes.
You know, instead of injuring his person, it became a rallying point for the people for the people to come around him and vote him into power. And that was how the people of Edo State decided. What makes you think the same direction? What makes you think history is not repeating itself? Because he went on national TV and said a lot about the candidate of the PDP. What makes you think that will not even bring about, you know, a rallying point of the people on the candidate of the PDP to elect him?
And I want you to understand Nigeria politics. Are we together? Why I say you should understand Nigeria politics. If you go back to Oyo State, Adedibu and Ladoja, the godfather and the godson political conflict there. If you go to Anambra State, Letu Badinuju and Uba and the people that sponsored him to become governor, and then the crisis of Ngige and the people that and Chris Uba, the people that sponsored him for governorship. And if you go to Rivers State, as I'm talking now, the governor of Rivers State and the minister for federal capital sponsored him to become the governor. These are issues that always play out between a godfather and a godson. What happened between Oshomole and Obaseki is history. But the point I'm trying to make here...
But history seems to be repeating itself.
You know, history cannot repeat itself. The point I'm trying to make in this particular case is that a man cannot say, I'm fighting Godfatherism, and the man becomes a godfather. Yeah. That is a minus for him, because the video clips of how himself and his deputy then, who is now impeached, were making such statements. They are alive. And I like the way, you are out, Abi? Yes. Yeah, he made a statement just now that the internet does not lie. It keeps record for you, and the records are there for anybody to access.
Okay, let's give room for Dan Osagbege to react to that.
You cannot count best governors of Edo State without mentioning Oshobaba as one of them. So if Dan Osagbege is benefiting from PDP, you should not forget that it was APC that brought him to limelight. His coming to this television station was on the basis of his fraternization with APC. That's
okay.
By the way.
Okay, no. By the way, let me pause you there because we have to take his reaction. I'll come back to
let's take his
Kenneth Erunse. But Dan Ogbege, please.
Let's take his reaction.
Can you react to what Neville Obakedo said?
Yes, thank you, Philip. It's quite a pity that I'm not in the studio because the gentleman in the studio that is talking about me being APC. We have to understand that in this country, there's no clear-cut demarcation among the parties. The people with what we support are individuals, the candidates. And I have stated many times, over 1,000 times, the reason why I had to leave the APC to join to support the candidacy of Asue Igodalo of the PDP. Very simple. The APC showed that they don't have respect for voters. Their mechanism for choosing candidates I've seen over the years is very poor. The same way they brought Muhammad Buhari, who practically destroyed the economy of this country, is the same way they brought Bola Tinubu, who we all know what is going on in this country with his poor policies. And now they brought a certain Mode Obewolo, who does not understand the issues at all, who has shown that he lacks cognitive order to be able to, help Edo people to make Edo great again. It was the reason why I chose to support Asue Igodalo. Because Asue Igodalo is the only one campaigning, is the only one with a manifesto among the leading candidates of the leading parties that is talking to Edo people. What he will do, the APC candidate has not been able to show to Edo people what he will do as governor of Edo State. The same thing for the Labour Party candidate. The other parties that are neither here nor there, they know that they are not serious about the election. Like the YPP candidate, for instance, he knows he's not serious. He might be a brilliant young man, but he knows that YPP will not be able to win any election in this state. He's probably working for the future. I understand that
I was expecting you to react categorically to the statement of Neville Obakedo. Well, I believe you've already taken that reaction. Well, thank you very much, Dan Ogbege, for taking our time to be part of this. As we call it a round off, let's take your reactions, Kenneth Erunse, over what he said.
Okay. I want to react to what Dan said earlier on. He mentioned the issue of Godfatherism, even though my brother has made some clarity about that. But I want to emphasize here that it's on the internet where Obaseki vowed that Edo people should deal with him if he becomes a godfather. The issue of Godfatherism is very clear now. Obaseki singularly brought Asue Igodalo to come and contest in an election that he was not ab initio prepared for. That is why the issue of voters' card is still a matter of before the court today. So the issue is clear. Obaseki is now the godfather of modern Edo State politics.
Is there a law against that? Is there a law against that? They weaponized that against in the last election. Yeah. It was clear. They were using the issue, the sentiment in that last election was the issue of Godfatherism. It was not about performance. Nobody was ready to estray the performance of Obaseki in that last election. All they were saying that Edo not be Lagos, say no to Godfatherism, 4+4 talk bad. That was sentiment. The people voted based on sentiment because they said Adam Soshomole wanted to assume the role of a godfather. Here we are in 2024. Obaseki is assuming the role of a godfather. And let me tell you, the truth are very obvious here now. Asue Igodalo was not a member of PDP. I'm sure he doesn't have a membership card as to speak. He was not involved in politics. He was not even a registered voter until recently. Well, I think that case, like we've already
until recently.
I think we will leave that to settle because
anyway,
since it's before the court, we will see what will come out from
by the side.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to emphasize here is that Obaseki is the new godfather of Edo State politics.
Okay, thank you.
And he's showing that clearly in his activities.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Let me react to what Dan said.
Just 10 seconds.
When he said that APC are relying on federal money, no. We are campaigning what? They are not campaigning anymore. PDP have withdrawn from the race as we speak. They are not campaigning. They are not on the field. We are on the field campaigning from what to what, reaching out to the people. And let me tell you, in the last election, what happened? The last local government election, it was rigged. The PDP rigged it, 18/18. Everybody saw it. So why are they afraid? They are afraid of their shadows. So this is the time for us to pay the Edo people.
Thank you, Kenneth Rose. Thank you, Kenneth Rose. Thank you, Kenneth Rose. Big thanks to you. Just in 10 seconds.
Well,
your final words.
It's rather unfortunate that politics comes to the mighty, the trust-making justice of mighty's rights. Who has the money dictates the future. It's rather sad. But I'm hoping that this time around, just like the barrister from PDP said that YPP is not serious. If we're not serious, we will not be on this race still. This race so far has been self-helped by the candidate of the
All right, thank you. Thank you.
We're trusting Edo people to do the right thing.
Thank you. In 10 seconds, your final words.
My final word, Edo State people or voters should know that this is an opportunity for them to take their destiny in their own hands. They should vote and not sell their votes, and they should not allow anybody to call them to vote for a particular candidate.
Thank you.
That's against their wish.
Thank you. If I still have Barrister Dan Osagbege, I would like to take your final comments on this quickly in 10 seconds.
Thank you very much, Philip. I want to enjoy Edo people to be focused. This election is about their life, is about their future, is about the future of their children. They should vote for the candidate that they trust, that they can trust the future of Edo State with.
Thank you, Dan Osagbege. Big thanks to you, Kenneth Erunse, for taking the time. Help extend that to the rest of them. Big thanks, Peter Okumbawa. Hold. Big thanks, Peter Okumbawa. Big thanks, Peter Okumbawa. Big thanks to you, Neville Obakedo.